Hello, I am back. Okay, so I don't have a lot of time today. and it is time for my bi-weekly. Every two weeks I do a podcast, and I don't have time to start over, and so no editing. We got to get it done, because I am a long arm quilter and work is crazy. I am a health coach, that is crazy. So but it's really important for me to talk about my stitching because this is my downtime. So yeah, it's just important to me. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And we're going to dive right in. My name is Roxanne. This is my little corner of YouTube, a crocheter's journal, and this is just where I talk about the things that I'm making. Mostly it's knitting and crochet. However, things are changing a little bit because of an injury that I have. I don't want to call it a crochet injury because it sounds ridiculous, but that's kind of what happened. I took a fall a couple years ago and I got impinged my shoulders, and I made a project that aggravated that. It was fine, and then it got aggravated, and I haven't been resting, and it's just was getting worse and getting worse. So I had to take 3 days off my stitching. It was awful. It was awful. 3 days is a long time when you're used to doing it every single day, but I started feeling a lot better, and then I started picking up my stitching a little bit here, a little bit there, but more than I should, and it started hurting again. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to handle this. I'm gonna have to deal with this. But I made a list. These are all the projects that I have currently going, and some of them are for Christmas. It's like 12. Not all of them need to be done right now. And I figured that out as I was working. I thought I'll work a little bit on each one, and then see what all I've got, work on it for a little while and set it aside, work on the next one, set it aside, and make a list. I had a pretty big list. So I'm not going to show you everything on the list this time. We don't have time, and I will tell you that but I'm showing you like 10 10 of the 12. 2 projects. One is a moss stitch blanket. I will show you that another day. And the other is a turtle game that I'm making for my grandson. Both are crochet. Super, super cute. The turtle game is super cute. And the turtles are like, their bellies are colored, and then you have to match the colors. He's not old enough for it yet anyway. When I saw it, I had to start, you know how that goes. And then when you put it away, you put them all in this big turtle, mama turtle. It's on Ravelry. There's a bunch of different kinds. So doing that, and then a moss stitch blanket. It's the one that uses variegated yarn, and you go all the way across, and you cut it, and then you do another variegated and go all the way across and cut it and do another variegated, and you just keep changing it, and it makes the most beautiful colorway. You really can't go wrong. You can just pick out whatever variegateds you want. I'm making it for my husband. He knows he's getting it. And it's teals and blues and some purple, and oh, it's really, really good. It's pretty, but those will be down the road. So I also usually like to show you guys something that I've already made, and I won't be doing that this week either because I have so much to share in such a short amount of time. So the first thing I want to show you, let's work through the list. Oh, I got actually. So I had a finished object, and it was I have it on my list, and I went to try it and it doesn't fit. So I am doing cup cozies for friends and clients. Now, not all of you will agree with this idea, but some of you think it's great. It works for me because I like to upcycle. Upcycling is important to me. So I went to the thrift store, and they always have tons of cups at thrift store. They may not have much of anything, but they'll have cups. And I went through and I picked really, really nice cups. No chips, no stains, no nothing. Got them for a great price, and really beautiful ones. And then I'm making cup cozies. I was going to crochet them to go around. And then I'll put tea, or I'll make, put something inside the cup just for little gifts for Christmas. Friends, clients, things like that. And it's affordable. It's just affordable. And it helps me use up some of the stuff that I have. And I was going to crochet them, but my shoulder. So I have opted to do them in wool. So on the 3 days, let's see, I got my pile here. On the 3 days that I was resting, and losing my mind, I realized I have to still do something. I mean, I have ADHD, diagnosed ADHD. I got to keep my hands moving. That's how my brain is hyper and my hands need to stay busy. That's just how it manifests for me. So I started doing stitching. Okay, so one, I have this book. It's Mandalas to Embroider, and you have the sheets inside to iron on, and I had one of those going, and so I worked on that. There's a little embroidery, so isn't that pretty? I didn't get it real dark over here, but I can still see it, so I'll make it do. But I'm doing it in this one in rainbows, but I think I'll do I think I'll always have some embroidery going. I do several of them. They're just pretty. I don't know how I'm going to display them. A friend of mine told me, you know, you could put them on a wood block of some kind, or, you know, I could quilt them and hang them. I have a sunroom. I could put them in the sunroom. So there was that. But the other thing that I've been working on is this Christmas wool project. And it's wool applique, and it's freezer paper, not freezer paper. It's fusible web, and then I use a little bit of glue and I glue it down, and then I just do a little whip stitch. And this is where I've gotten so far. And isn't that cute? I think that's cute. It's a Christmas, it's from a magazine. It's a Christmas, of course, you know, like I do, I get the pattern one year and then I start working on it the next year, and then I finish it the following year. But this year I might actually finish it the same year I started. So it looks like that, and it is just adorable. I just love it. I just think it's cute. It's very whimsical. It kind of reminds me of the gingerbread house in Hansel and Gretel. So what I decided with those cups, since I did crochet one, it was way too big. I don't even have it here. It's in the other room. But I'm going to use the wool to make those gifts. That'll save my shoulder, but I'll still have things to do. But these are the stitching projects that I'm going to work on when I really, really want to knit and really, really want to crochet, but I need to rest. What I decided to do is I would do at least 30 minutes a day of intentional knitting. Now, I got this idea, or crochet. I got this idea from other podcasters. Elise Rose Crochet does some intentional in the morning before she does intentional crochet in the morning. Crazy Sock Lady and Knitty Natty both do intentional knitting in the morning for 30 minutes. And I thought, okay, I can't always do it in the morning, but I can do it each day, and I might even break it into, okay, 30 minutes and then rest, and then 30 minutes. But I think that's going to be the most I can do until I start feeling better. And I'm super bummed because I just started this podcast, but I can get a lot done. When you know intentionally you're going to do it every single day, it's surprising what you can get done. So now I'm going to show you what I actually did get done. I did not have 2 full weeks between podcasts because I had to work for Thanksgiving. So it was Thursday, and then I had 3 days off, and this is still the stuff that I worked on. So I better look at my notes because I don't have that kind of memory. I can go through the pile, I suppose. Oh, did I show that? Oh, nope, that was something else. Okay. No, I showed you the baby blanket last week. I was going to show you a new baby blanket this week that I was a little bit older, but I'll wait for next week. It's a baby sweater called Little Lamb and a star blanket. One is knit, one is crochet, and it's a set. I'll show you that next time. Not next week, next time, 2 weeks. So works in progress. The contrast blast socks I did not work on whatsoever, and I did not work on my MKAL whatsoever. The days I was going to work on my MKAL were the days that I took off. My mom came to visit, and I am not doing those projects while I'm visiting. Not a good idea. I am not that prolific where I can follow those types of patterns while I'm visiting with somebody. So I did not do those. I did work on my Hocus Pocus girls a little bit, not a lot, but I got a little progress on those. I'm starting to work on, I think it's Mary. I think she's the one with the black hair. I got this far. Isn't she cute? I just did the body and this part of the body. I didn't get the base put in yet at all, but yeah, I think she's adorable. I mean, she just, considering she looks like an alien right now, right? But yeah, I'm excited to have these be done, just because I want the whole set. I want the whole set to be ready to go. And then I do have the head for Sarah I did the heads all at one time. So I got that much done on that project, and that's it. But that's okay because it's that little thread. So I just thought if I don't work on things consistently over time, I will not finish. So, and the goal, basically the goal, this is what I do with projects when I start having too many. I really don't want more than 7 or 8 projects. 6, but not more than 7 or 8. Is what I do is when I have my list like this, I will, and I don't have any project that I'm super obsessed with, I will work on that project. I will work on a little bit of each until I get close to one finishing, and then I'll finish it out. Or until one starts to become kind of an obsession, or if it has a deadline. But if I finish 2, I get to start 1. So it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But otherwise, you gotta have fun, right? And I am itching to get sock yarn. I am itching to start another sock project because, you know, I need another, whatever. But this is where I can reward myself. So I do 2 projects. Once the 2 projects are done, then I will start another, but only 1. And so yeah. So that's the plan. So next, I wanted to show you, you know, I'm not going to go by my list. I'm going to just go through my pile. Okay, so the green socks. I love these green socks. This was my obsession last time. This is what I was doing. And I started to knit the cuff, and I noticed it was much smaller. It was much smaller. And I was like, why is this so much smaller? I'm using the same needles. I took notes. I'm doing the same thing over again. And I was visiting with a friend, and we were knitting together, and I said, I think I'm gonna have to go up a needle size. I don't know what I did. And she said, well, if your shoulder's bothering you, you're probably tense and knitting like this, and that's gonna be tighter. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I pulled it all out. I was working on the heel flap, and I pulled it all out. And I mean, they're shorties, but still, I hate going backwards. So I started again, and she said to knit for a while on something else, and then after 10 or 15 minutes, then come and knit on your sock, and you'll be relaxed a little bit. And then I did take a conscientious effort to try to relax while I was working on these. And so this is how far I got on the second one, and I'm pretty happy with that. And this will probably be a focus again of the 12 projects that I work on, because I really want to get these done so I can wear them. They're a little bit tight, and I have another, like I have lots more of I held double. I have a lot more of this variegated, and I have a lot more of this green, but it's in other colors. And I really want to make lots of sets with the same variegated but different base colors or solid colors, and just tweak the pattern out a little bit, and yeah, and have all these shorties, because I wear shorties all the time that I buy. So now I'm making my own set. So I'll probably work on this some more, but I'm really happy. I figured that out. Now it's the right size. I didn't change the needle. I just loosened things up a little bit, and it worked really great. So super excited. Okay, so the project that I worked on to loosen things up, I am making this for a friend for Christmas. It is called Below Wear, and it's a cowl, and it looks like that. And it's baby alpaca. I talked about it last time. It was a yarn acquisition when I first started this podcast in October, and I've been slowly chipping away at it because I have till Christmas. And this is how far I'm at. Not super far, but I love it. You use one color and you go down and back, and use another color and go down and back. And you purl, and then you knit one below, and then you purl and knit one below. And then that's not exactly the pattern. There's a setup row, and I think one row you have to slip. The second row you have to slip, but it's a 2-row repeat. It's from a yarn shop called Darn It Anyway. I think that's funny. It's close to me. And all of these, the links in the description, you can always reach out and see if they have the pattern, if they would sell it or give it to you, or how that would work. But that's where I got it. And they had these kits where you could buy the 2 skeins, and it's so yummy. It's so yummy. And she likes to walk, and we live in Wisconsin. So I think she will enjoy wearing that. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm excited, but that's got a deadline. So this will be a focus to get done. The biggest focus right now, I talked about this last week. I did start it. My grandson, let's see, do I have it in here? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay. All right, you guys, sorry, excuse my reach. I have this Christmas tree hat. I'm not going to put it on because I have naturally curly hair, and as soon as you put something on it, they just go haywire. But I have this that I wear outside when I'm shoveling snow, and it looks like a Christmas tree. And I had my cousin make it for me, and I got the little lights on Etsy, and I put these little baubles on, and she made the hat and the star. And I found a pattern, this is sort of a morphed thing. So what I did was, I have this book called Itty Bitty Hats, and when I made my grandson's pumpkin hat from a few episodes ago, I used a pattern in here for the pumpkin. Well, I'm using the same stitches, the same size needle, 7s, the same cast on, which is 80, because the first time I made the pumpkin hat, it turned out way too big. So I had to take it all out. I am like the frog queen, seriously. And I had to restart it, and but it turned out adorable. He was so cute. He worked at the pumpkin patch. He's 15 months old. Well, maybe 16 now. Oh, they grow so fast. That's gotta be, I hope he's not older than that. No, 16, it'd be 16. So I found this pattern that's very, very similar, and it looks like this, right? And I got it, it's called Christmas Tree Hat and Elfin Socks. You can get it on Ravelry and Etsy, I believe. So I just, but it uses a smaller gauge yarn, and it uses a DK, and I didn't want to swatch because I'm a lazy girl. So I decided the biggest hat has cast on of 72. I switched it to 80 because all I really need to know is the ridges and the decreases. So I switched it to 80 using my 7s, which is exactly what I did with the pumpkin hat. And I'm just following the ridges and following the decreases. I just made some adjustments. So, and it is going great. This is the one I work on for my 30 minutes a day, no matter what. This gets done first because Thanksgiving is a week from this Thursday. So, and I'm going to see him that day, and I want to get this to him because I want him to have enough time to wear it, right? I don't want to give it to him on Christmas because then Christmas is over. So I'm this far is a rolled brim, which I love rolled brims because it's just super easy. So I'm this far. So it's going pretty quickly. These size 7s, they go really fast. And this yarn is delicious. I really, really like it. It is called Comfort by Berroco. I will get this for him again. And it is, it's 50% superfine nylon and 50% superfine acrylic. And it just has this nice soft texture, and it's just perfect for kids. You know, it's machine wash, tumble dry, you know, easy. My concern that I had when I talked to you last was that the baubles, he still sticks stuff in his mouth. And I was like, if anything happens to this kid, I would be devastated. But if something happened because I put baubles on his hat and he choked, yes, maybe I'm overthinking it, but I talked to my daughter-in-law, and I'm like, and she said, go ahead and make it. And she would only have him wear it when they're going somewhere where it's not gonna lay around the house. He puts it on, he goes out and wears it, photo ops, you know, opportunities like that. And she would watch him because I have these little lights. They're a little bit bigger, but that I can sew on them, but I want to make sure. And then I have some the little baubles. I'll put those on. You can get those out in the craft department of Walmart. We buy them because the big ones our cats like to play with. So I'll sew those on there with the instructions, and she knows. And she's very, very careful with him. My daughter-in-law is a wonderful mother. I'm so blessed to have her for a daughter-in-law. So we decided to go for it. Especially because it's not a hat he'll wear all the time. It's just really a seasonal hat. But he needs to match his grandma. So we're doing it. Okay, we're doing it. And I'll probably have to make another one when he gets older because they'll have to be bigger. Who knows? We'll see. It won't be a hardship at all. So that's that. Okay, started a new project. And this was before I made the list. But I started a couple new projects. And then I made the list and I was like, girl, what are you doing? But I regret nothing. Nothing. I regret nothing. All right. I want to make the Battenberg Blanket. I saw Nitty Natty make it. I saw a few other people make it. It is so beautiful. I love anything granny square. Oh, anything granny square. I just love it. And I don't have a granny square project going right now. I didn't. More on that later. We'll do that one next. But I like the small squares, but I don't have any fingering weight or advent yarn. It uses advent yarn, advent sock yarn, 4-ply. I have none of that. I'm trying to work through my acrylic so I can start a new chapter in my life. I've used acrylic my whole life and I have no problem with it, but I want to explore new things. So I started making these. Now these aren't, I just made two rounds instead of 4. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just doing 2 rounds. So I get these itty bitty, I have so many scraps. I love scrap. Anything. Quilts, blankets, Afghans, all of it. I love the scrappy. So I started making these little guys. These are so perfect. And we'll get to that too, but I have them in a Ziploc. I can grab it. I have everything I need in there. My needles, some little small balls of wool, not wool. My mother-in-law calls it wool because she's from England, but yarn, and it's ready to go. So I started working on that. This will be it's sort of one of those where you work on it when you're talking because it's just so simple and easy. So there's that project. And the other project I started, my mom makes granny squares, and I told her I would put them together. And so she brought me a bunch of these granny squares, and I started putting different colors together. I have these 2 colors. One's a variegated and one's this mint green. And she isn't liking how they were turning out, but she had already started, so she puts a lot of chains in between. And she said they're too much space. But I said, just finish out what you have, and then you make new, and I'll just match the ones that fit each other. So I grabbed this blue. Where is that? So I grabbed this, and so what we're doing with these is we are just putting these together for the nursing home. These are just for wheelchair lap blankets, and I'm just putting them together. I put a little layout in my little notebook of how these will work out, because she just uses scrap, and then when they're done, they're done. So I kind of did a little layup. I'll show you when it's done, but this is the blue. I decided on this blue to go around this. And that's what I'm doing with some of my yarn from last podcast, that I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I thought this is a good way to connect these granny squares. And so I have a little bin of them, and I'll work on that. But that doesn't have a due date. One thing I do need to do to finish these is because every project has its own hook, and I'm running out of hooks. So I felt like I can start new ones, because I don't want to put a paper in there or a marker or something, because if I just leave the hook right in there, because I'm notorious for forgetting to grab my hook when I want to go somewhere. So I can grab the bag, grab a scissor, and I'm set. So there's that one. That's that project. Did I even finish anything this week? I did not know. I wanted to finish that cup cozy, and I didn't get, and it was too big. So I don't even have that to show you. So I didn't finish anything, but I did get a plan. And that a plan is good, right? A plan is good. All right. So I had talked last week about how this shawl was finished before I started this podcast. I believe I showed it at the beginning. I realized it was too small. I decided to get more yarn. I call it my spring shawl, because it's universal bamboo pop. Universal Yarns bamboo pop sock. One or the other. And I love this yarn. It's bamboo cotton blend. It is super drapey. It's super light, and it would make the best summer throw. And I love it so much that I decided to make a blanket out of it, that just so I could work with it some more. and I'll talk about that in a minute, and I'm sure you've heard of it. But so this is how far I'm adding a row on this side. I think that's the back, yeah. So I got this far talking to my mom, and I like it. I like how that looks. I'm happy with that. I'm excited. I'm gonna keep going until the ball runs out, and then it should be big enough. It's to sit on the deck with my husband in the spring, and with a lightweight shawl, just something to cozy up with and visit. You know, maybe we'll have a glass of wine or a beer, and chit chat about plans. You know, I don't know. I love spending time with my husband, especially on our deck. So I'm really excited about this one. This will probably be the project that I take to my knitting, coffee crafting and connection. I started this little group at the local coffee shop, and I will probably bring this so I can visit, and then I just increase at the beginning, the first stitch, and go across, turn it, increase, go across. There's nothing to it. It's so fun. So I love this yarn so much that I do, and I don't have the yarn for it that other people are using, and I decided, I looked up this yarn, this bamboo pop sock. I think that's what it's called. I'm sorry. I'll put a link. It has so many colors, so many colors. So I think I might do quadrophenia, which it's just, it's just garter stitch. I think it's just garter stitch going back and forth, and it kind of goes out like this, and use different colors to make stripes. I'm not a fan of the scrappy look of those. I will say I need a little bit more cohesion. So I'm not sure what ones I'm going to get, and I'm not sure how it's going to look, and it may not turn out the way I picture it. It may look just as scrappy when I'm done as everyone else's, but I think they're all beautiful, and I think that it would make an absolutely wonderful throw for the car. Lightweight cotton, I gotta do it. So that's the plan. We'll see, but I really, really, really want one, and I can't get any more yarn or start it till I get this list down. So yeah, so that is all of the things. Let me make sure. I was gonna share with you, I have some red socks, like the green socks I want to make with it's up in the corner. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Oh, I'll have to show you that another day. Yeah. There's too many projects and not enough time. So I did get a few acquisitions, and I will show you. So I talked last time about some yarn that was supposed to come straight here from not that far away, and it ended up going to Georgia and then to California, and then I had to have FedEx look for it, and they did send it to me, and I finally got it. And I like to have something for babies going. So this will have to wait until I have the list is smaller, but this will be my next baby project. I think I might do a layette. I might do a sweater and blanket set. But I wanted something that was gender neutral in general. I think everything can be gender neutral if the babies don't care. But I know sometimes the parents do. But I got this yarn. I haven't tried it before. It's Lion Brand's Bundle of Love. It's this colorway. It's a peachy tan, a purpley gray, and then a cream color. I got two big skeins. So I'll have to look at yardage to make sure that it's going to work. But each ball is 688 yards, which is going to give me almost over 1,300 yards, which is more than enough. 100% acrylic, wash and dry, easy for babies. It's a size 4. I'd say it's a thinner size 4. I'm okay with that. I kind of like that. I'm into the thinner. It's easier on my hands, and I like the drape. So it's not as soft as I thought it would be. That's okay. That's what happens when you order online. You don't know, but now I know. I probably won't order this again. I don't know, but I wanted to explore and try something new, but I like it well enough. And I do think that once it's washed and dried, it'll soften up. So it's not scratchy. It's just not as soft as I had imagined. So, I know what I was going to share with you. I got a little tiny scale so that I can weigh these little balls of yarn so that I know if I can make one of my little Battenberg squares, if I have enough yarn. You have that little bit, and you're like, I can make it, and you play yarn chicken, and then you're like short like this much and you're not going to make it. Well, I got this little scale to weigh my yarn. And so that's going to go right in that project. It's really pretty. It's got a cover on it, but there we go. I mean, it's so shiny. It's so tiny. So it's just enough for something small. Got it on Amazon. And then I got, this is something I'm going to be working on since I cannot do as much stitching and I'm very frustrated. I got a bag of zippers. Any guesses what I'm going to do with these? I have a lot of these because I don't have a lot of project bags. And I am a quilter. I quilt for a living. I do long arm crochet quilting. I have fabric. I am going to make myself some small project bags. I'm very excited because I still will be feeling like I'm doing something that involves my knitting. I'll still be able to knit every day. I just won't get as much done, but I'll still have something to share with you because I think project bags are almost as much fun as the projects, what you keep them in. I love project bags. So I will at least try to get 1 or 2 done to show you next time. And then we'll start putting all of these Ziploc bags into project bags of their very own. I'm very excited. So lots of colors. There's so many free patterns online. There's great buyable patterns that are very affordable. There's also some drawstring bags, the project bags that are a little bit bigger. I did take the, I did get the pattern for that. Might have to try that, but it might take a little bit longer. I am swamped at work. 'Tis the season to be quilting. Everyone is knitting or crocheting or quilting. So we are really busy at work. So I'm working extra hours. And I also need to rest. So there's that. But I will still be coming back to podcast every 2 weeks to show you where I've, how far I've come. I'm sorry this had to go a little bit quickly. I would have liked to talk longer, but I have more work to do that I have to go take care of, and I won't get another chance to podcast for several days. So that's it for this time. I will get links put in for as much as I can remember. If I forget anything, don't hesitate to reach out and ask me. Rex, what link was that? You didn't get the link for that. If I have it, I'll find it for you. And I just want to say welcome to the people who are new and the people who have been leaving comments. It's so fun. This is so fun for me. This is like my little hobby that I do for me. And the fact that some of you participate just makes my day. I'll be in the car and I'll get a notification and somebody, commented or subscribed. And I'm like, husband, Matt, check this out, this is so cool. And he just thinks it's funny, but he's happy because I'm happy. He's like, as long as you're happy, I'm happy. I'm happy. I am loving this. So thank you. I appreciate you so much. So one of these days I'll have a better camera, I'll have better lighting, but for now, this is what we got. And I hope you have a really great day. Keep knitting and stitching. I'd love to hear what you're working on in the comments, and take care of yourself. It's a great season to be in. So talk to you later.